Okay, guys, you are highly welcome to today's Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. It's a pleasure to have all of us in this workshop today. So we waited for some time for others to join. So now we are ready to kickstart. I will share my screen so that I will start with the presentation. As our culture has been, we start with a brief presentation, and immediately after the presentation, we give room for others to contribute and share their experience on this topic. So today we are talking about effective workplace health and safety induction. So this is a topic that most of us are familiar with, but there are lots of things that we need to talk about, correct ourselves, and ensure that we are doing it right. Okay, so that is why we are looking at this topic today. It's not as if we don't know how to do induction or we've not done induction before, but our aim is to ensure that we learn from each other, we correct ourselves, and increase in our knowledge. So within the few minutes of my presentation, I'm going to look at the definition of health and safety induction. I will also talk about the importance. Then I'll talk about how to conduct effective health and safety induction. I'll look at also what should be covered. What are the major things that should be covered in a health and safety induction? Then I will conclude with some common mistakes that we've made in the past, or some common mistakes we've witnessed when conducting health and safety induction. So after that, we'll now give room for others to share their experience. So let's start. What is safety induction? In a layman's language, safety induction is the process whereby new workers are introduced to hazards in the workplace, they're introduced to the safe practices in the workplace, they're introduced to the safety procedures, they're introduced to how the organization functions in terms of health and safety. That is what we refer to as health and safety induction. So that process, that time that it takes for a new employee to get the adequate and the relevant information that he needs for him to work safely and remain safe in that work environment. That is what we refer to as safety induction. So for safety induction to be efficient or for it to be effective, it should be able to ensure that the new employee or the inductee understands the organization's safe work practice, that he understands his roles and responsibilities in that workplace, and he also understands certain procedures, processes that happens in the organization. So that is when we'll say that that induction was effective. What are the importance of health and safety induction? Why do we actually, why do we do health and safety induction? What are the gains? What are the importance of carrying out a health and safety induction? One of them is it encourages the employees to work safely. Because during the health and safety induction, you would have given instances of what happened where people did not work safe, and the safe practices and what is required of them. So, and when that is done properly, then the employees are definitely going to work safely. Another important is that it familiarizes the employees, that is the inductees, the new people, it gets them familiar with their safety responsibilities in that organization or in that workplace. Because in every organization, everyone has health and safety responsibilities. Employers have their own health and safety responsibilities. Employees have their own health and safety responsibilities. So during the safety induction, it's made clear, it's communicated to the new employees their health and safety responsibilities, what is expected of them in that workplace. So this is one of the importance of conducting safety induction. Another important is that it improves productivity. How does it improve productivity? Where accident incidents are reduced, then people will work safely. Where people are encouraged, where the morals are very high, people will work safely and productivity will be high. So skipping health and safety induction will not get you that productivity that you need. That 1 hour or 2 hours required to conduct health and safety induction, if you skip it, it won't give you the best. But conducting effective health and safety induction will ensure that people understand how to work safely, and at the end, you will be getting the maximum productivity that you require. It will improve also a safety awareness among the employees. Some of them, or some of them might not be well experienced in that field, but giving them that safety induction, which will involve letting them know the hazards, the risk associated with the activities or the workplace, will help them get more awareness about the safety of that workplace. They'll get more awareness about hazards, risk associated with such activities. And it is a very good way to ensure that that organization is incident or accident free. It also demonstrates management commitment, because when you conduct safety induction, what does it speak to the workers? The workers or the employees, they understand that the management is committed to their health and safety, that the management wants them to be aware of the hazards, the risk associated with those activities. And that will also help in improving productivity, and the workers will be relaxed. They know that they are working in a safe environment and they will give in their best. It's one of the importance of conducting safety induction. Another important is that it helps new employees transition to a new workplace. Safety induction is conducted for new people, especially the first day at work. So that employee or that worker is coming from a different environment. So safety induction helps him to get familiar to that new work environment. You get him acquainted with the activities, get him acquainted with the hazards, the risk associated with that environment. So he will safely transition from where he is coming from to this new environment. Maybe he's coming from an environment where health and safety is not given maximum attention. So during the safety induction, you transition his mind. You try to equip him with relevant information that he requires to ensure that he works safely in that work environment. Another important is that it helps to reduce injuries, incidents in the workplace. Because when people are fully aware of the hazards, when they are fully aware of the safe practices and safe procedures, then they will avoid mistakes that could lead to incidents or that could lead to injury in the workplace. So conducting health and safety induction is a better way of reducing incidents in the workplace. Another importance is that it introduces the new workers or the new employees to the company's policy. During the safety induction, you will take time to let them understand the policies of the organizations, the do's and the don'ts, what the organizations accept, what the frowns at. So with this, they will be able to avoid some of the implications associated with the activities or the implications associated with going against the organization policy. So safety induction will help to clear their ignorance, and they will be able to transition effectively to this new workplace without causing issues and without causing damage or maybe causing damages to the organization. So statistics has proven that employees without proper safety induction, they tend to have they tend to get involved in workplace accidents. So it's a very important thing to do to ensure that new employees are inducted before they start carrying out the activity in that workplace. Let's look at some of the things or how you conduct safety induction in the workplace. Before you start safety induction, before any employer starts safety induction, you should have basic things in mind. The first thing is that the induction should be properly tailored to that workplace. It should not be generic. It should not be something that you copied from internet and you start giving out to the workers. That safety induction should be tailored to that workplace, tailored to that organization. For organizations or corporations that have different sites, it's advisable that your safety inductions is site-based. The information communicated during the safety induction should be site-based. It should not be generic. So it should be tailored, it should be properly prepared to contain all the informations or all the activities ongoing in that workplace so that the workers will not get confused and will not miss up the information. So another thing is that the safety induction should be conducted by a competent person. Competent person, not just somebody that just joined the organization in less than 2 weeks and he starts carrying out a safety induction. Safety induction should be carried out by somebody who is competent enough, who has been in the organization for some time, who understands the processes, who can explain to the new people or to the new employees the safe processes, the activities, the hazards, the risks ongoing in that workplace. Somebody who is also able to take the new inductees on a safety tour around the workplace. So such competent person should be the one carrying out safety induction. Another thing is that safety induction should be carried out in a language that these workers or the inductees understands. It's not something that you just speak, after speaking, you go your way, believing that they understand. It should be communicated effectively by someone who speaks that language effectively. If somebody is a Arabic speaker, it should be inducted by somebody who speaks Arabic efficiently, because information communicated during safety induction is what the worker will be implementing in the site. So if he doesn't understand it very well, then he will make mistakes, incidents will occur, and a lot of things will go wrong in that organization. So that is why it should be carried out by someone who speaks that language. Safety induction, again, should be interactive and engaging. It should not just be a one-way communication. It shouldn't be the instructor or the teacher talking and after that everyone goes. It should be two ways. It should be interactive, should ask questions, get feedback immediately. So these are how safety induction should be done. Another thing is that safety induction should be conducted in a safe environment. Should not be something that you just stand near activities where excavation is going on. A lot of noise are coming, distractions are coming in from here and there. The people being inducted are getting distracted. So it should be done in a safe and a serene environment. Safety induction should also be conducted at the time when the workers are not under pressure. You know, most contractors, when they bring their workers to site, they want to start the job immediately. They are under pressure. They want to complete the activity. No, this is not the best way to go about it. Safety induction should be done when the workers are not under pressure. It can be done a day before the activity starts so that they will take their time, assimilate the information being passed to them, and they will be able to understand exactly what the information that has been passed. Let's look at what safety induction should cover. This is one of the questions that comes more often. how big or how wide should safety induction be? Is it a training? How long should it be? What and what should we communicate during the safety induction? So let's look at some of them. Safety induction should include your health and safety policy. The organization health and safety policy should be communicated to the inductees. Everybody should understand what is the policy of the organization saying, what are the management commitments, what has management identified to be committed to. So your company or the organization's health and safety policy should be covered during the safety induction. Another point that should be covered is the risk and the hazards associated with that workplace. So the person carrying out the induction should take time to explain to the new workers or the new employees the risk, the hazards associated with the work environment. Their roles and responsibilities also, especially health and safety roles and responsibilities, should be communicated to them during the induction. Another thing that should be done is the job-specific trainings that these employees require to carry out their job should be well explained to them. For instance, if a particular employee will need to be working at height, so safety induction alone is not enough to give him access to start working at height. So he needs a job-specific training. So that is where it comes, work at height training comes in. So you should be able to explain to the new inductees the trainings that they require to be completed before they carry out the activities. Another example is if one of the employees or the employees, the activity involves entering into confined space. So the induction alone is not enough to just cover them and allow them to start going to the job. No, you should let them understand the specific trainings that they must complete before they start carrying out the activity, even though that they have undergone the health and safety induction. Now, another thing that should be included is the incident or accident reporting procedures. The forms you require, where who is supposed to be reported to, who are the people that the report goes to, the details that you require to be reported. So this should be all communicated to the inductees during the health and safety induction. Your emergency response procedure and your emergency response arrangement in that workplace should also be communicated to the workers or to the new inductees. Also, a tour around the site is very relevant. This is a practice that most contractors or most employers do not take serious, because while you are communicating to them in the office or in the training room, you'll be pointing different locations. Maybe you have a map that you are pointing at, this is north, this is south, but it's a very good positive practice to take them by walk. After the induction has been completed, they all have their PPE. You take them around the site, showing them physically those points or those areas that we are mentioning, like assembly points, like emergency escape route. You show them physically those things you were talking about during the classroom induction. So it's a very good practice that we can implement, especially if you are not doing that at the moment. Now I will conclude with this slide where I talked about some of the common mistakes that we health and safety professionals have done in the past, or maybe we are still doing at the moment when it comes to health and safety induction. One of them is that we rush health and safety induction just to complete the register ticket that you have done this safety induction, without taking your time to explain to these people what they need to know. And most times, safety inductions that we are rushed like that, I've witnessed in one of my projects where somebody that joined a project on that day had accident on that day. because the induction was rushed, because there were certain things that he didn't understand. So safety induction should not be rushed. This is one of the mistakes that we have encountered in the past. Another mistake is that induction materials are out of date. You see, in some workplace, for instance, especially in construction industry, where you have changing layout, you have changing site layout. From time to time, things are improving, things are changing. Maybe last week there was excavation on the south. This week the excavation has been backfilled, but there are changes in that workplace, but we are not updating it in our induction slides or in our presentation slides used for the induction. So this is one of the mistakes that many health and safety professionals are still doing. So it is wrong, and we need to improve on that. We need to update our materials daily or weekly before any induction is carried out. Ensure that the materials you have, whatever picture you are showing them on the slide, immediately they go to site, they will be able to identify it. Some people, you use pictures of last month, last year, and when they go to site, they will be wondering, where is this picture? Where is this location? So we should update the materials we use for our safety induction. Another mistake is the safety induction taking too long. You know, I said in the past previously that it should not be too short. It should also not be too long. Having safety induction for 7 hours, 8 hours, it has entered something else. So taking safety induction for too long, you will give them overloaded information. You give them information that they will forget all that you have said in the past. So you have to maximize your time, give what is necessary, avoid what is not necessary, so that you will not keep them for a long time and they will have more information that will be very difficult for them to retain. Now, another thing, another mistake is not enough time dedicated to discussing specific risk. Now, what happens is that when we conduct safety induction, we mix up people from different departments. Maybe people from electrical department, people from mechanical department, people from maybe even office staff. We'll put everybody together and we'll conduct safety induction. In that instance, we'll not be able to discuss in full the specific hazards associated with each of these departments, or each associated with the jobs that each of these departments do. Because everybody is there. You have electrical, you have mechanical, you have everybody in that hall. So you will not focus on the electrical department and be talking about all their hazards and all their risks associated with the activity. So this is one of the mistakes that we are still making now in our safety induction. And it's one of the reasons why we don't get the best out of it. What is the solution? The solution is schedule your safety induction department by department. If possible, induct the electrical department separately, induct the mechanical department separately, so that with that, you'll be able to have time to discuss specific task-related risk and hazards, so that the information will be detailed enough and they will understand it without getting bored. For example, if I'm an office staff and you are taking time discussing hazards in the site, discussing, or maybe electrical staff, you are taking time discussing hazards associated with mechanical, I may feel bored because I may feel that it doesn't concern me. So having these inductions separately could be a better way to handle that. Another mistake that health and safety professionals do is the important induction details required before arrival are not communicated. For instance, you require the inductees to have their PPE. Maybe you have some mandatory PPEs like coveralls, safety jackets, safety helmets, safety shoes, safety glass. Your organization have mandatory PPEs, personal protective equipment, but you do not communicate this to the staff or to the workers so that they will be fully prepared, fully aware of what they require to use in the workplace. So this is another mistake that some health and safety professionals do. You just allow them to come to site, or maybe you believe that they should know. No, this is not the right way. You should communicate to them beforehand, list all the items that they need to have while coming to site for safety induction. Another mistake is not having induction, the inductees not engaging during the induction, because you are only talking, just like I'm presenting now. I'm just talking, no asking questions. I'm not getting feedback from the inductees. I'm not even checking if they're understanding what I'm doing. So how do you correct this? To correct this, you do it session by session. After a particular topic has been finished, you can ask few questions relating to that topic. Maybe you finish discussing a health and safety policy. You can ask them maybe 1 or 2 questions related to that policy, just to ensure that, to be sure that they understood it before you go to the next one. Make your induction engaging as much as possible. Another mistake is having induction early morning. In some organizations, they fix their induction 6 a.m. and immediately 6 a.m. they've started. And some people, maybe due to traffic, maybe due to some unforeseen circumstances, they arrive late. So they've missed that induction. So that is not to say that you don't stick to your time, but you should fix a time that will be most appropriate, that people will not miss their induction, or people will not come in halfway when you have finished a particular topic or when you have started already. Okay, one of the other mistakes that we do during the safety induction is induction registers are poorly filled and take a considerable amount of time to assess them. Most of our induction records or induction registers are manually written. And if you want to search if so person have been inducted, it takes you time to keep searching them. For example, in organizations that have reinduction annually, some organizations do their reinduction every 6 months. So how do you find out the people that their induction has expired? It takes you time because you are not keeping digital records. So it's advisable to maintain your induction registers physically and also digitally for easy access and retrieval. Okay, so I think these are some of the mistakes that we make during our safety induction. And just as we always do, this is just the introductory presentation, and we'll take time now to share our experience. We can go ahead to say some of the mistakes that you have witnessed before. I have a very sweet experience I'm going to share along the line also. So I will stop here and give others room to contribute. Thank you very much for your time. So now the floor will be open for others to contribute and share their knowledge. The floor is open, guys. Yeah, David, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, all. It's a very interesting topic, and it's a topic that every health and safety practitioner is directly involved in. Health and safety induction in the workplace cannot be overemphasized. Sometimes construction interface with health and safety induction, because majority of them don't even know the importance of a safety induction. I will share an experience I had a few days ago where I was going through around the site for a walkthrough, and I found new personnel who assessed the site through the back door. So I had to stop them. I checked there were no induction stickers on their helmets, and I had to order them out of the site. So while they were out of the site, the engineer was asking me, okay, when they came to the office, I was now trying to check if they are eligible to work in the site by checking their ID, their work ID, like their resident permit. So it's happened to be that their IDs had expired months ago, about 5 of them. The IDs are expired months ago. And without a valid ID, I cannot conduct an induction. So they were ineligible for the safety induction for the project. And then the engineer walked up to me and told me, what has an ID got to do with our job in the site? I told him that without a valid ID, they are not going to be inducted, because if something happens to them, the first thing that the police will ask is a valid working ID. So these things, people at the top management, the engineers, the managers, some of them don't even know the criteria required for a successful and an effective induction. They need to know, they need to be involved, they need to be inducted. They need to know why it's important to carry out an induction in the first place. If they know all these points, then there will be no point in them hastening people up to carry out an induction quickly, that they have this job to complete. They have these people only for a short time. These guys are on contract. They just need to do this and leave. If they know these points, if they know the reasons why these things are being carried out, if they know the advantages that this quality safety induction has, the benefits it gives to the company, then it will go a long way in promoting a quality safety induction in the workplace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir David, for that wonderful contribution. Is something that we've been battling for years, and it keeps reoccurring, but we'll not back down. We will continue until we get it right. So thank you for that contribution. The floor is open, others can take up.
Hello and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your brilliant presentation. You actually covered at least 99.9% of the purpose for which safety induction is conducted. However, I do wish to add that safety induction, from my own perspective, this is what I've been doing on site for years, and it has always been appreciated and commended both by my management and client management. So safety induction is divided into 2 categories. You have the general safety induction for new employees and visitors that are coming to work on site for a short time. For instance, vendors, visitors. And you also have safety induction for senior management visitors. Senior management visitors, as per our own arrangement, do not need to go through the full induction slides, because our full induction presentation runs for between 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. And that is between 45 to 55 slides. But for senior management visitors, their own version of we call it a site-specific safety induction. And it is a compressed version of, or a summarized version of the full safety induction. So who are the people that this visitors safety induction or management safety induction is meant for? This induction is meant for the contractor senior management visitors. For instance, my background is construction. So somebody like the general manager of my company, the corporate global president, and on the client side, anybody that is higher than the project manager from the client side, when he's coming to site for the first time, is regarded as a management visitor, and a site-specific induction is given to him or her. And we do this pretty often. So my own site-specific safety induction for management visitors runs for about 5 to 6 minutes maximum. And what are the what are the information that is contained in this management visitors HSE induction? First and foremost is that when they arrive site, it's usually before they access the construction site. Most cases, when they arrive first, they go to the laydown area. The project manager or the project delivery manager, he receives them in the site office area, which is also known as the temporary camp facilities areas. They do their talking, they have a cup of tea or coffee. Okay, let us go to site. So at the point of the access to site, you, the site HSE lead, you are right there waiting for them at the entrance. You need to give them site-specific induction before they access the site. And so when you are going to give them the safety induction, you begin by letting them know who you are, your name and your designation. Then let them know the name of the company that is executing the project, especially if the visitors are from the client side. The name of the contractor company, then the site most senior person, either the project manager or the delivery manager or the client side, then both on the client side and on the contractor side, you let them know who the persons in charge are. Then you go forward to let them know the emergency procedure, like you rightly mentioned. Let them know the designated smoking area where the site toilets are. Then emergency action while you are on site that you already measured to them. Then let them know what permit to work is being used on the project, either the client permit to work system or the contractor's permit to work system. In my last project, we use our own permit to use, and you go ahead to let them know the total number of permit that has been issued on the project, right from the inception to date, and the total man-hour that has been worked on the project without LTI. I mean, if you have a very good safety record on site, you have a very high man-hour without LTI, there's an opportunity for you to brandish this achievement, especially for top corporate managers. Then site-specific hazard. For instance, you let them know that when they're on site and they hear an intermittent alarm, it's an indication that a heavy equipment is moving backward, and they should take time to look around if they're on the line of fire. You let them know of other specific site hazard, like the presence of sand fly. If it perches on their hand, how they are to handle it. Let them know if there are trip hazard on site. For instance, survey line roofs. Let them know if the part of the site where there is high noise and why they should wear hearing protection. So the list is quite long. I will not go through everything, but you let them know all this. When they have known all this, then you will now ask them. Usually there's no question from them, but for courtesy purpose and for the interest of the training, you ask them, gentlemen, is there any question? Once they say there is no question, you will now hand them over to the site lead or the project manager. But usually the site delivery manager from the client side to lead them through the site. You will also be on the entourage, but your responsibility is to give the induction. As soon as the induction is completed, you hand them over. We now hand you over to, you measure the name of the client site representative, and he takes over, he thanks you, and he begins to conduct the site tour. You'll be with them. And for record purpose, what I do and which I also advise other people to be doing, as they are going around the site, as you are keeping it in touch with what they are discussing, you also take a photograph. You are taking photograph of them at different strategic locations on site. At the end of the day, after this visit, they will make their own impression. Before they leave, they will give a kind of a statement. The statement, how they find your HSE induction, they will mention it. If it is satisfactory, they will let you know it is satisfactory. If it is not satisfactory, they will let you know on which area to improve on it. While all these are going, you are doing a recording by way of photographing or video, whichever way you choose to go. In one of my last presentations that I did, that was late last year, the global vice president of the client company visited site. And so I conducted the HSE induction the way I have been conducting it for visitors at that level. So he was very, very impressed. And just before he departed, where he was making his statement, he praised the company, and particularly he showered a lot of praises on me for a very good HSE induction. And he went ahead to say that of his 28 years in the industry, this is the first time he was facing somebody, a safety officer outside, looking at him directly in the eyes and running that through the safety induction without mistake, no omission, and everything is right up when that all the years he has been used to video presentations. They'll be bundled into a conference room under shielding air conditioning system. A video will be shown to them. But this is the first time he was facing somebody directly and giving him HSE induction and right of point, and he urged us to keep it up. 2 days after he was gone, the client company sent an appreciation email to my company, specifically mentioning me for the appreciation of the vice president over the HSE induction. So I believe this is a very good practice that I enjoyed every HSE professional to take into consideration, especially when they find themselves giving safety induction to senior management visitors. So this is the few I wish to add to the presentation you have made. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Justin. That was brilliant. I will take that into consideration. Thank you very much. Mr. Tayab was raising his hand. Has he left?
Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Mr. David, thank you very much for that brief analysis, but I believe this is your own company practice. Going by the safety induction process that you just elaborate, first and foremost, the 2 points you first started with by dividing the safety induction into 2 parts, that is appreciated, but the other process could be a company individual practice. That there are some companies that might not even allow that process you just analyze. But going by the topic and a way of us bringing a diverse system of how we do it in our individual company to learn, I believe that safety induction is a process of giving a first-hand information to new beginners, to visitors in a different way. Just as you said, yes, we have a visitor induction, then we have the proper induction for site information that will be given to new employees for the company. Like my company, I will start from maybe when I work in Nigeria to currently where I'm working. In Saifem, Nigeria, a new employee will got induction for 3 days. 3 days. It was streamlined to 2 days. And from that induction, you are going to get the full first-hand information of the operation in the system. Then for visitors induction, which is always been short, been given approximately maybe 20, 30 minutes, because there are some top management that will come, they will just tell you before you start, we don't have the time to spend. So you don't even need to now go into time that will take even more than maybe 20, 30 minutes. You have to make it maybe just 5 minutes, because they are going to tell you, oh, between you and them, and even when your manager is there, your manager will start telling you from there that please make it very brief, because they don't have time. So you are just going to give them a very short induction of information, telling them the emergency situation, and if there is an emergency port system in the yard or your company, whatever information they need to know, and where you have your escape route and where the muster point and all that, for them to have this process and have it as their first information, should in case if they will be drilled that very day, and the drill will involve maybe using of emergency alarm system. If they hear it, they should know that it's a drill. It's not an emergency system, so that they should not be panicked and all that. So you're going to give them this first-hand information so that as they are going around with the tour, they should know, okay, this is how we've already been informed and how to respond if there is an emergency process. So I know what you explained now was very good. It's a detailed one. It's a good practice. We'll take it on board. That is, if your company will allow you to spend time, that is on one side. Then, but I know from the topic process, from the beginning of the analysis and the information share, it was very good. It is like, in fact, for me, initially I was just entering my house now. The topic was like a boring one, but from the beginning of the analysis, it makes it looks very vibrant and active information that everyone needs to know while induction is required and the purpose of induction, refreshing the memory and all that. So I can only say that is an improvement for us to take informations and add it to existing information that we already have in our various company, so that we can continue improvement, which is a part of our own safety process, continuous improvement. So that at the end, if there are some of the information that will be fit into our current situation of work, we put them in and continue to see that we improve our system and until we get to the best of our expectation. So I think that is just for me. The topic was very good. From David point, from Jose Wala, also analysis, everything looks excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis, for that wonderful contribution. It's always a pleasure to have you speak to us from your wealth of knowledge. All right, we still have a few minutes because we started late. So if others have something to contribute, we can take that.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Amoja. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to appreciate you for your well-conducted meeting this afternoon. I really appreciate your points you made, and all the speakers that have come on to say one or two things. I've learned something new from the meeting. Well, I just want to chip in one or two things in regard to health and safety induction. In the construction business, safety induction is something that the HSE officer is always at the mercy of the company, because sometimes you find out that certain contractors just want to come just to fix one or two things in less than some minutes. People will not have to spend the whole long period in the premises of the company. But my take in this whole affair is that, in this whole issue is that, you see, they still need to be inducted but the level at which you do the induction will not be as thorough as somebody that want to continue to be an employee of the organization. I want to say here that most of the time, health and safety practitioners are always at the mercy of the company. Why I said that is because you see most of these contractors, when they come in, owing to the fact that they just have 1 or 2 hours or even less to do business with you, they will just want to quickly rush the job. So most of the time, you will want to make sure that you cut down every necessary detail that you would have want to bring to their knowledge. Try to be specific to that which they are really coming to do in the premises. Mostly if it's a routine job. But I still believe that that's an aspect that we as health and safety practitioners we need an improvement on. We need an improvement on by the companies which we work for, because we are not really in charge. It is the companies who we work for, and it is even the contractors too that want to really do their business very fast and go out of the premises. Because from the company, my workplace now, where I'm speaking from now, there is a contractor that just came. They want to fix our gas line, and they are going to be doing hot work. They're going to be doing hot work. Now you have to make sure you know each and every person that has come in to know whether they are really fit for this job. After you knowing that, you also give them orientation, basic orientation on health and safety. So you're going to find out that you have much work to be done. What do? You just have to give them the best within a very short while. If you know that, yes, they are doing hot work, you have to ask them if they are welders, if they are fire wash among them, if they have actually done this kind of job before, and that kind of thing. Know about their experience, their competency, and that kind of thing. So you find out that you just within a very commence work, of which you know that in an hour or two they're going to leave the premises. You give them the basic thing that they need. You may not have to be thorough because they are just coming to. Sometimes you even find out that to your surprise, you need to do any kind of job out of your office. You met them, and so what do? You just have to do the best you can. So you're going to find out that health and safety practitioners, they are always at the mercy of the organization where they work for, and they're also at the mercy of God. To be frank, but at the end of the day, you find out that at the long run, they have to. They just have to depend on God, because if care is not taken, most of the time accidents happen. But we depend on the mercy of God, and God help us in our work. We always come out strong. So I really want to appreciate this time giving me to talk to you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Omojede, for your contribution and for your participation every week. We appreciate your knowledge you are sharing with us. All right, so there's one experience that I just remember that I want to share with us. Each time I remember that, I always start laughing. And it goes with the competency of induction. That was, after that experience, I realized how bad it could be for someone who is not competent in a particular language conducting induction. So there was this, my manager, he was is British. So he was conducting induction for Bangladesh guys from Bangladesh, and he needed a translator. So he took our office boy who he thought that the guy understands English. So he was conducting the induction and the guy was translating for him. Now, at a particular point, he was talking about ants and termites, because in that location we were like in a desert area, and there were within that period we were having issues with insects, ants. So he was telling the manager was saying in English that you should be aware of ants and termites. Do you know what this translator said? He said, we don't know the other things he said, but he just said lion and tiger.
Ah, yeah.
He just said lion and tiger. So that was, we started laughing, and we are now wondering what he was translating. If ant and termites is a lion and tiger in his own translation. So we wonder what he has been translating all this while. So safety induction requires competency in language. It's very important. Though some people could say that you can use videos, you can use pictograms to put your information out, but it's not effective. Should be with the language that the person understands, or you use a competent translator. That is the best option. So that is the experience I wanted to share with us.
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
Hello, Justin. Go ahead.
Let me just quickly add a word or two to the contribution of Francis and Omojade. I want to say to Francis that if his management tells him that he should make his induction very short, should not be more than 30 minutes, I think it's about the luckiest person among all of us. Because 30 minutes induction, I don't see it as a compressed induction, it's a full-scale induction. I've actually been told once that senior management visitor was on an urgent visit and was not having a full time. So I should make the HS induction to be 45 seconds. And my project manager was the one telling me this. I didn't argue, so I conducted the induction. I told the visitor and his entourage about the location of a toilet, smoking area, and muster point. And thereafter, I told them that other site-specific information that they need to know will be communicated to them by the delivery manager as they embark on the site tour. And all of them, they nodded their head and clapped. And that was it, less than a minute. So not many companies will even give you 10 minutes to give a site-specific induction to visitors, let alone 30 minutes. So that's why I said he's very lucky if he has a company that gives him 30 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, welcome.
Yeah, that is a good one. All right, I think everyone here has spoken, others have left. So thank you guys for your time. I really enjoyed today's topic. It looks like it's a very new topic, but it's something that we'll do every day. But just talking about it and sharing the experience on what is going on, it makes it look so fresh. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time and thank you for the knowledge you are sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Francis.
Thank you.
David. Amajade, thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Yeah.